Good afternoon. It's truly an honor for me to be here with you today. I want to thank all of you for inviting me to join you. I particularly want to thank so many friends that have joined me here this afternoon, and many even traveling from Miami. So thank you, all of you. I'm privileged to be mayor of the city of Miami, a city built on the aspirations and the dreams of so many who have come to America searching for freedom, searching for a better life. It is what this country gave my family, and it is what this country has given me. I came to the United States when I was 6 years old, on a freedom flight sitting on my mother's lap. We fled a place where the government denies its people the very freedoms and the opportunities that all of us take for granted. We saw this country, as so many others still do, as a beacon of hope, a land of boundless opportunity. My mom and dad worked 2 and 3 jobs at any one time. They cleaned toilets, parked cars, washed dishes, and yet they never despaired. They knew that if you work hard, you can provide your children a better life. We lived in a clean, safe neighborhood. I attended a public school, and after school programs kept me from getting into trouble. I worked as a school janitor making $1.10 an hour as part of a program called the CETA program, which some of you may remember. Student loans made it possible for me to attend college and earn a law degree. At every turn of my life, especially in my youth, I benefited from a partnership. Because government invested in me, I can now give back as mayor of the city of Miami and as president of the United States Conference of Mayors. Not long ago, I spoke at a naturalization ceremony in Miami. I could not help but remember the day that I raised my right hand and swore allegiance to this great nation. As I looked out at the crowd of over 3,000 people from all corners of the world, from all walks of life, all eager to join this great American democracy, I asked myself, do they see the same things in America that I saw all those years ago? Is this country still willing to provide the tools for advancement? Is America still willing to invest in its people? Does a 6-year-old child today have the same access to opportunity that I did or that any of us did? This is a time when Washington has lost its values, lost its principles, lost its sense of purpose. It no longer invests in our cities. It no longer invests in our people. Plain and simple, Washington has abandoned us. While Washington engages in endless debate and partisan bickering, people throughout this country continue to suffer. Cuts to education, to housing, health, public service, public safety, youth programs, economic development, job training, arts, and infrastructure. Government investment in our cities and in our people, all cut. When Washington does act, it is to clean up a mess that should have never happened in the first place, because Washington plays catch-up. Just look at the recent housing bill, a bill, by the way, that the current president threatened to veto. It is a fix for a problem that mayors saw coming, a problem that would not have spiraled out of control had those in Washington heard our cry for help. Right now, solutions are not coming from Washington. Solutions are coming from America's cities. We drive the national economy. 92% of the nation's economic growth, 86% of all jobs, 90% of income and gross domestic product. Over 85% of Americans are now living in cities. Cities are not the problem. Cities are the solution. And while Washington sleeps, mayors are working 24/7 to keep this country going. We address the issues that most matter to Americans. Greg Nichols of Seattle on climate change, Mike Bloomberg of New York on infrastructure, Tom Menino of Boston on illegal guns, Rich Daley of Chicago on education, and Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa of Los Angeles on poverty reduction. And the list goes on and on and on. We are the front line, the last hope that in cities, not all is lost. We are the government of first resort. We accept that responsibility. But we should not have to be the government of last resort. And so today, we face a moment of choice. In November, we will go to the polls to elect the next president. The American people demand an accountable federal partner. We are prepared to sit down with Senator Obama and Senator McCain. Tomorrow, we begin our Mayor's March for America. 5 forums, 5 cities, 60 days. Philadelphia, then New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami. And why these forums? Why now? We see violence increase in our cities. Today, there are more gang members in America than police officers. On the streets of Miami, an AK-47 is cheaper to buy than a PlayStation. Youth violence accounts for 20% of all violence, and it is the second leading cause of death among our youth. Children are killing children. Is crime a local problem, or is it an American problem? 1 in every 6 children lives in poverty, with nearly half living in extreme poverty. Over 60% of America's children cannot read or perform math at grade level. And in our largest cities, over 50% of our children do not make it past high school. These numbers are much higher if you're Black or Latino. Are poverty and economic opportunity a local problem or an American problem? The American Society of Civil Engineers grades our infrastructure at a D, requiring a $1.6 trillion investment just to fix it. A bridge collapse in Minneapolis. Steam pipes explode in Manhattan. Levees bust in New Orleans. And these are not isolated incidents. They are symptoms of an underfunded national infrastructure. Mothers and fathers spend 4 billion hours a year stuck in traffic. 4 billion. Time that they don't spend with their children.